A single 20 to 30-minute habit each week will stop your days from turning into a rescue mission. If your to-do list feels like a junk drawer, impossible to close and full of things you forgot about, the weekly review is the one habit that clears it out and keeps you sane. You'll learn a ready-to-use, time-boxed routine you can do tonight. A quick capture of loose ends, a fast triage of email and notes, a simple reflection on what worked and what didn't, and a clear plan with 3 priorities for the week. Concrete steps. Spend 5-10 minutes capturing every open loop into one list. 10 minutes to turn vague tasks into next actions, e.g., prepare slides, create 3-bullet outline for slide 1. 5 minutes to pick and calendar your top 3 priorities. 5 minutes to archive or delete what's irrelevant. Total, 15-30 minutes, depending on how messy your week was. This won't pretend to fix everything. You'll still have surprises, but it will cut decision fatigue, stop weekend panic, and give you a realistic map for Monday. Stick around, and first I'll walk you through the checklist, show a live example, and give 2 tiny templates you can copy in under a minute. Think of it as an oil change for your week, quick, practical, and oddly satisfying. What a weekly review really is. The core idea is setting aside regular, predictable time each week to empty your inboxes, update plans, and decide real next actions. Think of it as a maintenance appointment for your responsibilities. You collect loose threads, decide what to do with each one, and put things where they belong so nothing silently grows into a crisis. Start by gathering everything that is piled up: email, messenger threads, receipts, notes on your phone, and that sticky note by the kettle. And treat them the same way. Decide the next action and move them into a system you trust. Begin with concrete steps you can use every time. First, capture. Collect all inboxes into one place so nothing is hiding. Second, clarify. Ask of each item, is this trash, reference, delegate, defer, or a next action? Third, organize. Put actions on your calendar or project list, file references, and hand off delegated items. Fourth, reflect. Scan your project list and calendar to spot conflicts, gaps, or stalled work. Finally, engage. Pick the top priorities for the coming days and export the next actions to your daily plan. For example, an email about a dentist appointment becomes either deleted, responded to, or entered on your calendar with an alert. A note that says finish proposal becomes draft outline for proposal. 30 minutes tonight. Concrete examples help make this stick. If a household project reads paint trim, the next action could be buy paint swatches or measure trim width, not the vague paint. When you review your calendar, move prep tasks onto specific days. If you see a presentation on Wednesday, schedule draft slides on Monday and review slides on Tuesday. Use quick wins to clear momentum. Knock off any items that truly take 2 minutes or less right away. That small cleanup reduces noise and gives you real space to think. Keep it realistic and doable. Use a short checklist you can run through in a focused session and time box it so it doesn't eat your weekend. If you're extremely busy, aim for a compressed version. Clear urgent inbox items, update the calendar, and pick 2 priorities. Everything else can wait. Don't expect perfection. The purpose is steady control, not a single heroic session that fixes everything. When things are overwhelming, break large projects into one next action each, then schedule those actions so the project actually moves. Make it habitual with tiny supports. Put the review on your calendar as a real appointment and protect that slot like any other meeting. Keep a simple template on your phone or computer with the steps. Capture, clarify, organize, reflect, engage. If you share responsibilities, agree on a couple of items to bring to the review each week so nothing falls between people. Treat the session as a practical tuning process, not an emotional purge, and you'll slowly replace surprise panic with steady, manageable progress. Why reflection boosts effectiveness? Reflection turns experience into useful knowledge by pausing action to label what worked, what failed, and why. It forces a short gap between doing and deciding, and that gap is where clarity grows. When you stop and name outcomes, you stop reacting on autopilot. Instead, you build patterns you can actually use next week. Concrete benefits show up fast. You notice repeated bottlenecks. Maybe status updates slip because 3 people own the same task. You fix that by clarifying ownership. You spot energy patterns. Perhaps deep creative work always stalls after lunch. Move those tasks to the morning and watch them flow. Small, honest observations lead to small experiments, and small experiments change habit trajectories. Do this with simple actions. Block out 30, 60 minutes once a week, bring your calendar and task list, and ask 3 focused questions. What moved the needle? What drained time or energy? What one change would make next week better? Write the answers down. Then pick one clear action, not 10 vague intentions, and schedule it. That tiny commitment beats motivation every time. Use concrete examples to guide the process. A product manager who noticed frequent feature rework added a short validation checkpoint before development started. Rework dropped and meetings got shorter. A freelance designer realized client scope creep happened after initial approval. They added a single checklist item to confirm deliverables and boundaries. A parent juggling side gigs discovered that mornings without email doubled productive hours, so emails shifted to a dedicated hour in the afternoon. Real fixes often look like tiny switches, not grand overhauls. Think of reflection as a maintenance routine. Cars need oil changes. Your week needs a little tuning. Treat the weekly review like checking tires and wipers. Mundane, but it prevents breakdowns. Keep it practical. Set a timer. Bring evidence, notes, calendar entries, and email threads, and finish by assigning the next action to a specific day in person, including yourself. Be honest, be kind to yourself, and remember that the point is progress, not perfection. Step-by-step weekly review process. A weekly review collects loose commitments, processes unfinished tasks, and sets clear priorities for the coming days. Start by gathering every input source you use. Your physical inbox, email folders, voice memos, notebooks, calendar, and any digital task lists. Lay them out like ingredients on a counter before you cook. If you skip this step, you'll end up baking a mystery casserole. The first practical action is simple. Pick one inbox and work through each item until it's either deleted, delegated, scheduled, or turned into a concrete next action you can do next. Next, run a calendar sweep. Look back through the past week to capture anything that wasn't recorded, meetings, outcomes, follow-ups, and then scan the upcoming week for fixed commitments and travel. If a meeting note shows you promised to send a vendor specs file, make the next action explicit. Email vendor the specs file and attach PDF. Then put that next action into a visible place, either on your actionable list or drop it into a calendar slot when timing matters. Treat the calendar like a set of reserved lanes on a busy highway. You don't want surprises forcing last-minute lane changes. Then review your project's list and next actions list. For every project, pick one concrete next action that would move it forward. If a project is update website, a good next action is not work on website, but write homepage headline draft or collect 3 customer quotes for the testimonial section. Short, specific, actionable. If a project has no next action, either decide the next step or mark it as stalled. Use a concrete example. Your file taxes project might have the next action, find W-2 and upload to accountant folder. Pinpointing this prevents mental clutter. Check your waiting for and holding lists after that. Follow up where needed. For example, if you're waiting on pricing from a supplier, send a quick, plain message. Quick check. Do you have the updated price list yet? If there's no reply and the item is critical, escalate, call, or set a reminder to refollow. Treat these items like dominoes. If one doesn't fall, the whole setup can stall, so be decisive about nudging or dropping. Look through your someday, /maybe list, and prune mercilessly. If an item hasn't been touched in a long time and no longer sparks interest or serve your goals, move it to an archive folder. Keep only the items that still feel relevant. Then align what remains with your short-term outcomes. Choose a few realistic, specific wins for the next week. Things you can actually finish or move decisively forward. Don't create a fantasy to-do list. Pick things that fit your real life and current workload. Finally, schedule and set up a simple touchdown list for Monday morning, or your first work session. Put 3 high-impact tasks where you'll see them first thing and clear everything else into an order backlog. Before you finish, do a quick tidy. Close browser tabs you won't need, clear the desk, and archive finished notes. End with a tiny reflection. What felt stuck this week, and what small change might help next time? Be honest. It's okay if you don't complete every item. The point is to keep the system honest, not to guilt-trip yourself into perfection. If you're short on time, run a condensed version. Capture new items, glance at the calendar, and choose one top priority, rather than skipping the whole ritual. Questions to ask yourself each week. A focused weekly check-in of 60 minutes catches slip commitments before they become crises and makes your calendar behave. Start by asking, what did first actually finish this week, and what didn't get done? For each unfinished item, answer one simple question. Finish it now. If it takes under 15 minutes, delegate it or reschedule with a firm date and time. Example: if the client proposal didn't get sent, either complete the last paragraph now, ask a teammate to draft a section, or book a 60-minute block next Tuesday and put it in your calendar immediately. Look at next week's priorities and think in concrete chunks. Which 3 outcomes would make next week feel successful? Label them and protect time for them first. Then ask whether every meeting on your calendar needs to exist or if its purpose can be achieved with a 15-minute async update or a shared doc. If a meeting is redundant, cancel it. If it's necessary, add a clear agenda item and the decision you want to leave with. Check every active project and identify the very next physical action for each. Don't write work on marketing. Write draft 300-word email about product feature or outline interview questions for 2 hires. Put those next actions into your task tool and assign one to a specific day. If a project has no next action, mark it stalled and either delete it or set a review date. Practical example: the website refresh project might have the next action, collect 5 example sites and email designer, not the vague improve site. Review commitments to other people and you're waiting for list. Who did you promise something to and what's their status? Send quick 2-line updates where needed. People usually appreciate a short note more than radio silence. Also ask, what drained my energy this week and what preserved it? If long afternoon meetings left you exhausted, try shifting focused work to mornings for 2 weeks and see what sticks. Small experiments are better than grand promises. Finally, tidy the systems that create future work. Is your inbox full of newsletters you never read? Unsubscribe or set up filters. Then schedule 20-30 minutes to process the backlog with a touch once rule. Ask what you learned this week and what one tiny change could reduce friction next week. Maybe a template for repetitive emails or a standing no meeting morning block. End by noting one concrete win, no matter how small, and write down one specific tweak to try next week. Think of this like clearing the counter before you cook. You'll work faster and waste less. How to keep this habit simple? Short, predictable routines are more likely to stick because they remove the tiny, exhausting choices that kill intentions. Keep the weekly review to a single, repeatable pattern. One anchor, a fixed time or event, one short checklist, and one place to capture everything. That trim structure turns the review from a vague chore into a simple ritual you can do even when your brain is tired. Start by choosing an anchor you already use: the end of your workday, Sunday morning coffee, or the last 5 minutes of Friday. Then make a 3-item checklist that's brutally minimal. Capture anything new, update your calendar, and pick the top priority for the coming week. For example, open your inbox and flag anything that needs action. Scan the calendar for conflicts or deadlines, and pick one work goal and one personal goal to focus on. Keep the wording on the checklist short so it reads fast. Long sentences in a checklist are a trap. Remove friction by preparing a simple template and a default toolkit. Use one app or one notebook, not 8. If you prefer apps, have a saved note with headings, inbox, calendar, priorities. If you prefer paper, keep the same page layout every time. Set a timer if helpful. Think of the template as an airport security line. You go through the same checkpoints every time, and it moves faster when everyone follows the same route. If you're slammed, run a micro review. Capture new items in 60 seconds, scan for the next blocking appointment, and mark a single priority. That tiny version keeps momentum without pretending you suddenly have more hours. Make decisions easier by creating defaults. Decide ahead of time what done means for the review. Archive emails older than a month. Defer items you won't do this week. And set a simple rule for new tasks. Do it, delegate it, defer it. For instance, if a task will take less than 5 minutes, do it during the review. Otherwise, add it to the backlog with a next action. Use concrete language on the template so you don't have to think. Keep the number of tools to a minimum, 2 at most, because switching apps is like changing lanes in rush hour. You lose time. Be forgiving and practical about consistency. Aim for most weeks instead of perfection. If you miss one, do a micro review later in the week. Don't let guilt make the habit impossible. Stack the review onto an existing habit. Put your checklist in the same place as your keys, or schedule the review right after a recurring meeting. Make the outcome visible. A sticky note that says top 1, or a calendar event titled Weekly Review, 20-minute, so it nudges you without nagging. Small, repeatable actions beat grand intentions. A tiny, well-executed review will save you time and stress more reliably than a heroic sprint once a month. Quick recap. A weekly review is a short, regular check that keeps your life from slipping into chaos. Practical steps you can do this week. Pick one window, 30, 60 minutes. If you're slammed, 15 will do one. Empty and triage your inbox, archive, delegate, or return items into tasks. 2. Update your project list and write the very next physical action for each project. 3. Choose 1. 3 most important tasks for the coming week and put them on your calendar for reflect briefly. What worked, what didn't, and one small tweak to try next week. Example. If you've got a report due, your next action might be outline report, 60 minutes, Tuesday 9, 10 a.m. If you're a parent juggling kids and work, block childcare and a focus block like it's a dentist appointment you can't miss. Think of the weekly review like a quick oil change for your week. Small time now, fewer grinding gears later. First get it, you're busy. If you miss a week, don't reset your life. Just pick up next Sunday and keep going. Try the steps this week. Block the time on your calendar right now. Do the mini review and drop your 1 MIT in the comments so First can cheer you on or commiserate. If you like this, subscribe for the next video. First will share a ready-to-use 20-minute weekly review template and a walkthrough of simple tools that actually save time. See you next week. Same habit, fewer surprises.